Well, yet another surprise in this campaign season. Joe Biden announcing just moments ago that he will not run for the presidency in 2016. Hello and welcome to the second hour of Happening Now. I'm John Scott.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jenna Lee. And the vice president ending the speculation that has really consumed Washington and much of the country for weeks now. Mr. Biden, flanked, as you can see, by his wife and President Obama, said the grieving process for his son, Beau, who died of cancer in May, impacted his decision not to seek the presidency.
Unfortunately, I believe we're out of time, the time necessary to mount a winning campaign for the nomination. But while I will not be a candidate, I will not be silent. I intend to speak out clearly and forcefully to influence as much as I can where we stand as a party and where we need to go as a nation.
Let's bring in our chief White House correspondent, Ed Henry, with more on this and what we're learning at this hour. Ed?
Good to see you, Jenna. What's very interesting, of course, is our first takeaway is this is a big moment for Hillary Clinton. If you look at that debate last week, many people gave her the victory in the first Democratic debate, not just because of her performance, but because of the Democratic field is much smaller and perhaps not quite as big and bold as the Republican side. And so she is clearing the field here. Jim Webb has gotten out in the last 24 hours, and now Joe Biden is saying he's not getting in. What I also find fascinating is he's surprising some of his own key supporters. I mean, Harold Schaitberger, the head of the American Firefighters Union, vast union that was ready to throw its support behind Joe Biden, said this morning he was expecting Joe Biden was going to get in and was preparing his troops to get out there and go door to door for the vice president in a presidential campaign. Earlier this week, 3 advisors to the vice president told me they were expecting him to announce as well, based on phone calls and meetings that they had had. They stressed on Monday and Tuesday he had not made a final decision, but nonetheless said that they believed he was leaning towards getting in and were expecting him to announce. He has now made that final decision clearly and did some sort of a gut check in the last 24 hours that told him clearly that he didn't have a path to victory. And the timing here is very interesting. He does it today, 24 hours before Hillary Clinton will go before the House Select Committee on Benghazi. Some of his advisors had been telling me that they were trying to force a decision before that hearing because they were concerned that if the vice president was going to get in, and he did it after the hearing, and Hillary Clinton acquitted herself very well in that hearing, after a strong debate performance and then a strong performance on the Hill, it would look less and less likely that a presidential bid would be successful. Or if Hillary Clinton did badly in that hearing tomorrow, he would look very politically opportunistic, the vice president, to go out there Friday and all of a sudden, after a bad performance, say, I'm in. So he clearly did a gut check here, decided in the final moments that he was not going to get in. But I also find it interesting that the rest of his speech, as Chris Wallace was noting a few moments ago, sounded like a campaign speech, sounded like a rationale for getting in. And what could also be going on here is that with a lot of speculation about Hillary Clinton's political future, what's going to happen with this FBI investigation, the vice president made it very clear in his speech that he's available. He's here. He thought about it very seriously and came close to doing it, to taking the plunge. He's not doing it now, but he said very clearly, as you heard him, I'm not going to stay silent, and also did not endorse Hillary Clinton today, Jenna.
So, very interesting, Ed. Just quickly, I think when you speak about timing, it's also important to mention the timing of the FBI investigation, because there are those that say when we figure out and when we learn from the FBI what they're going to do with this investigation, we could be well into next year. Is that the case as you understand it at this time?
Well, based on the reporting, we frankly just don't know how quickly the FBI is going to go forward with this investigation, how long it's going to take them to sort out the facts. So obviously, if they were to come forward with some damaging report in, say, late January, right before the Iowa caucuses, the first in the nation primary in New Hampshire, it's pretty obvious that could be a big political problem and potentially a legal problem for Hillary Clinton. But frankly, we don't know. Are they going to get that investigation done in the next few weeks? Is it going to take them into the middle of next year when we could potentially be in the middle of a general election? Nobody knows the answers to those questions.
And that's an interesting thing not to know going into a presidential year. So we have to keep that in mind as well. Ed, thank you very much. Certainly more on this as we get it.